This is Cool Japan, and in this video we're going to take a look at the SH Figuarts powered down Broly figure, and yeah, he looks awesome. So first up, let's take a look at the box. Right on the cover, you've got this awesome picture of Broly. You can see this Dragon Ball Super Broly movie logo, and Nation's Bandai. On this side, you get some more shots of the figure. On the back, you can see some different poses that you can put him into. Before I got the figure, I saw this picture and I thought he looked kind of, I don't know, he looked kind of weird, like kind of stocky, and I wasn't really into it, but getting the figure in hand, he is really awesome. Right, next up, So first up, let's take a look at the heads that he comes with. He comes with 3 different heads, and they all come with their faceplates, so you can change them around. You can also put the powered up Broly faces on these heads, but I don't recommend it because the powered up version, his faces are a little bit bigger and it does look weird once you change it. But anyway, the first head he comes with is this regular powered down head with this calm looking face. The sculpt on it looks really nice. I'm just not really a fan of this powered down hair. It doesn't look that cool to me. But next up, we're going to look at the powered up face. This looks much nicer. The hair sculpt looks really nice. It's flying all over the place. It looks really, really cool. And you've got the face, which is done really nicely. The paint and the sculpt on the faces is great. Alright, and next up, let's take a look at the Super Saiyan head. This also looks really nice. There is some nice shading on the hair, at least on the front of the hair. There is some shading and highlights. Looks really nice, and the face as well looks really, really good. Just the sculpt on the Super Saiyan head and the powered up head, they're exactly the same. This one's just yellow, which is fine, I guess. And just to compare real quick, let's look at it next to the powered up Broly. His skin tone is a little bit more darker or brighter on this side, and his hair is much more yellow. Let me just show you the faces real quick, see what they look like interchanged. So yeah, you can see that the head is a little bit bigger, and once you put it on, there's a noticeable size difference, and when it does peg on and the hair does come back on, but it looks weird because the hair colors don't match and the head is much bigger, so I don't recommend doing that, and there really is no real point in doing that anyway. Alright, next up, he does come with this little collar or necklace. I haven't watched the movie, but I'm pretty sure this is used to keep his power in check so he doesn't go all berserk. And it just goes around his neck and you can pop on his head. The good thing about this figure is that the heads are very, very easy to take on and off. So yeah, looks really nice. Next up, let's take a look at the hands. He does come with 3 pairs of hands, and right out the box he does come with these fists, which are, yeah, they're fists. And next up, he comes with these grasping hands, or powering up hands, or charging hands. These are very standard with Dragon Ball Figuarts figures. And last up, he comes with these open palm Ki Blast hands, which is also standard with any Dragon Ball Figuarts figure. And that's all he comes with. He doesn't come with any stylized hands at all, but yeah, I mean, other than fists, what does he really need? Right, next up, let's take a look at the detail and paintwork. There isn't much shading on this figure. There is, I mean, like, there's just shading on his arms from what it seems. There is no shading on his skirt piece, the giant ear, and there is some shading on his chest right there. But overall, it does look really nice. The armor looks fantastic. The back looks pretty cool. The way they do this armor piece, it's done really well. It doesn't get in the way of articulation at all. You can see shading on the back of his arms. His armor just looks really cool. The earpiece, we're pretty much familiar with this from the previous Broly. It looks just about the same, just a little bit smaller. These are his legs. Looks really nice and muscular. And yeah, so I guess overall he does look fantastic. The only bad thing that I can say about it is right here you can see this armor piece is connected to the upper torso, and when you move it around it does scratch up his stomach part. So right there, if you look carefully, you can see some scuff marks, and you cannot avoid doing that. Any slight movement of this will cause it to scratch up, which is, you know, it's unfortunate. I'm not sure if there's a way around it. Maybe if they made this out of rubber, that would have been better. Not sure, but anyway, that is something to point out. Next up, let's take a look at the articulation. He moves around pretty nicely. I mean, the head, because of the hair, doesn't really move up that much. You can look down with it. The necklace kind of gets in the way, but you can take that off and move it. He can look down a little bit more. The upper torso moves. There's a joint right here and down here on his waist, so he can look down. The sculpt is also continued on the back right there, which is nice. I just don't really want to move this too much because I don't want to... Yep, I just got a new scratch right there. But it does move around. You can swivel it. There's a swivel at the waist. If you move the belt down, you can see a little bit more of the articulation. And I did mention the shoulder armor does move out of the way completely. They did really good with this armor. So his arm goes all the way up like that. You can put it in his armor so it doesn't look too weird. There is a butterfly joint, which is also done very nicely. You can see his muscles, and his armor moves around like that. It looks really cool. There's a swivel at the bicep, and a double jointed arm. Doesn't give you much more than 90 degrees, but you know, you don't need too much more than that. There's a swivel and hinge at the wrist. Pretty much standard Figuarts articulation. The legs, they kick out almost all the way, which is great. The skirt doesn't really get in the way of articulation. There's a swivel at the top of the leg, and the knee is a double joint, but you don't get more than that. The ankle does have a pivot, but it's kind of hindered by the sculpt of his boots. These things get in the way, so you can't really pivot it too much, which is a shame because you can't get in a super nice pose because of that. His foot goes down and up, and there is a toe hinge right there. The toe hinge is done really nicely. Alright, so let's see how this looks compared to the powered up Broly. Be right back. So here he is next to his powered up form. He is noticeably smaller, but that is accurate to the anime, so that's great. And here he is next to the Figuarts standard regular Broly, the original one, which is basically the same size as the SH Figuarts. So it is a nice comparison. Alright. And here he is next to Goku and Vegeta from the same movie. So while he is smaller than his powered up form, he is still huge compared to the regular figures of Dragon Ball. So with everything said and done, I would say that this is an awesome figure. If you are a fan of the Dragon Ball line, then definitely you should pick this up. If you have the powered up Broly, this is a very nice figure to pose next to it. They both look fantastic. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more cool Japanese stuff.